Nothing to talk about this week, Tim. Nothing going on with the Vikings or the NFL. I think we'll find a way to piece together a show anyway. It's amazing. Isn't it an amazing league? Isn't it amazing how much happens in one stinking game? Hey, I want to introduce the show. This is the Viking Update show, part of the talknorth.com podcast network, powered now by Bite Squad. You know how this works. We're pretty transparent on this network. Bite Squad is with us for a month. And so if you like our network and if you like food, do us a solid. Go to bitesquad.com or download their app and use the promo code TALKNORTH. You will get your first delivery free by using the promo code TALKNORTH, and that will definitely help out our network, which continues to grow and continues to be a blast to do. Tim Yoder is the publisher of Viking Update. We're doing this show remote because there's so much news surrounding the team. We wanted to get a show out as quickly as possible for you this week. Also, for other NFL and Viking thoughts, listen to our show with Jeff Diamond that'll come out later in the week. Jeff, former Vikings general manager, Titans president, former executive of the year in the NFL, offers, Tim just covers the heck out of the team, covers every angle. Jeff offers more of kind of the executive view of what's going on with the franchise and the NFL. Let me thank our other sponsors, Mississippi Pub down there in Inver Grove Heights, Beaver Island Brewing, WizKids.tech, Twill in the Edina Galleria, Fixology Repair in the Mall of America, and in downtown Minneapolis, and Tony Hoagland, your State Farm agent in Champlin. Again, thanks to Bite Squad, bitesquad.com, promo code TALKNORTH for your first free delivery. Let's start with the kicker. Looks like they're about to sign Dan Bailey. Pretty much the only thing that hasn't been done is the official press release and the physical. I thought this was the right move. What did you think, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I would have liked to have seen Daniel Carlson work out because of his leg. To me, it's one of these situations where a young kicker comes in. He looks like he's got all kinds of potential, but for the situation that this team is in with Super Bowl aspirations, it's really hard to stick with a guy when he's losing points for you. And, not only the missed field goals on Sunday in Green Bay, but those missed, especially the longer ones, give Green Bay great field position to start their next drive when he misses it. And, the other thing that's kind of interesting about this is the dynamic between a hard-nosed coach like Mike Zimmer and a young kicker. Those two sometimes just don't mix. It makes me think that Zimmer's attitude is one where it just doesn't blend really well with a young kicker, especially when he's starting to go through struggles. So I'm not terribly surprised by the move. It would have been nice if Carlson would have, at least made a couple of those kicks, but since he was 0 for 3 and, essentially ended up costing the Vikings a half a game, I can totally understand the direction they're going.
And, Zimmer has been pretty transparent about this. I mean, what really drove him crazy was the way they handled that drive at the end of the game where they positioned the ball exactly where Carlson wanted it. It's a gimme, and when you miss that kick, it's mental, and you just can't take the time when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. This isn't a developing team. When you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you can't have your season be used as group therapy. You need just a kicker who will make at least the kicks he's supposed to make.
Yeah, and the first couple were definitely longer kicks. With Carlson's leg though, those are no problem. I've watched him kick pregame each of these first 2 weeks, and his range is basically 55, 56 yards. Mm-hmm. Anything over that, he's been a little short on. But when you set him up for a 35-yard game-winning field goal, exactly where he wants it, the conditions in this case were absolutely not a factor. There was very little wind. The field was in good shape in September in Lambeau, and it's 2 yards longer than an extra point. And so that has to just drive Zimmer crazy, and the players. The players all said the right thing to the media, but watching their reaction, hearing some interactions that weren't to the media, it tells me that, a guy like, Linval Joseph walking off the field after the game turns around at about the 35-yard line and just looks with this dazed look back at the field goal post before he left. And, it just tells me if that happened again, the players might have just gone bonkers over it.
Yeah, I mean, Zimmer might have saved Daniel Carlson's life.
Yeah, you don't want to be Daniel Carlson dealing with Linval Joseph.
No,
but even Monday, before the move was announced, the players still had a supportive tone toward Carlson. But with all of their hopes, what they want to do, and if this is a tie that ends up costing them home field advantage during the playoffs, they'll look back at that and really be upset because of how things went down last year in Philadelphia, and you wonder how different that game might have been had it been at home, and momentum could have been changed a little bit. So, as you said, because of the situation of where this team is right now and everything that they've done to build one of the best rosters in the NFL, you can't have a guy who's costing you 3 points consistently.
There's also a big difference between a locker room that tries not to say anything controversial and what people really think.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, here's one of the interesting facts. The Vikings have gone 7 seasons in their history where they have missed 3 or fewer field goals in a season. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Carlson got to 3 misses in week 2 alone. So, yeah, it has everything to do with the high hopes of the players, the feeling that they've got a great roster put together, and you can't have breakdowns like that happening.
And by the way, if you hear any background noise, again, we wanted to do a quick show, get something out. Might not be to the usual pristine quality that you're used to on this network, but I think it'll still be listenable. We thank Brandon Morton, our producer, for making our stuff listenable as always. Go to talknorth.com to find all of our shows. We have a huge lineup these days, and we continue to add to it. We appreciate everybody supporting it. So you can subscribe at iTunes. You can subscribe to your favorite podcast app. And if you'd like to sponsor any show on the network or the network as a whole, you can reach me at jsouhan47@gmail.com. Also, do us a favor and do yourself a favor. Download before you listen. Downloading gives you a better listening experience, also helps the network out. We appreciate it. A reminder, go to bitesquad.com or download their app and get good food to your door in minutes. Use the promo code TalkNorth to get your first delivery free. Bite Squad food for your mood delivered. Also want to tell you about Mississippi Pub. We do one live show a month down at Mississippi Pub, Inver Grove Heights. GPS it if you ever want to get down there. It's worth the drive. You're right there on the river, right on the marina. They have a beautiful patio that's still open. $6 burgers Monday through Friday, 11 to 2. Daily happy hours, appetizer and drink specials. They host private parties. They have live music. Go to MississippiPub.com to find out the music schedule, and we will let you know as soon as we schedule our next live show. I'm hoping we can be back out on the patio. We like their fried pickles, their burgers. They check out the menu. They got a lot of stuff going on. MississippiPub.com. Let's go to the receiver situation. Treadwell drops 3 passes. 2 of them would have been first downs. The other one, he deflects into an interception that could have cost them the game. Did catch a touchdown pass, but completely unreliable. And they bring in Aldrick Robinson, a speed receiver who played in Washington with Cousins, has had a spotty NFL career, but he does have speed. How much should we read into this move?
Well, I do think that once again, when you've got such high hopes, you can't have guys dropping passes like Treadwell was. There are going to be those situations every now and again. And, when Treadwell came in as a rookie, I was stunned at the number of drops that he had in off-season workouts, off-season practices. And then he just doesn't get a lot of time as a rookie. Last year, he'd started to look better. This training camp, he definitely looked better. He made several contested catches. I don't know if this is a concentration issue. I asked Zimmer what happened with Treadwell's drops. He said he thought he was trying to run before he had the ball. I talked to Treadwell after the game, and, he seemed to take this approach like, well, I had the drop. I can't do that, but I came back and I did everything I could. And he kept mentioning the blocking that he did as a receiver. Well, yeah. I mean, that's all great. But if you're not catching the ball, who was it? Brad Childress, who kept saying the definition of a receiver is to receive.
Yes.
And he just isn't. He wasn't getting it done there. And as we've talked about many times, his separation ability is not great. And so it's got to be a strong receiver then that can catch contested passes. And when you're dropping ones that aren't even contested, it just kills the team and the momentum. The one first down he could have had. It was such an interesting game for him because he catches his first NFL touchdown, and then everything after that was downhill. And I didn't get the feeling like he was as upset as he should have been after the game with himself, or maybe understood how much things like that hurt the team. And so, I don't know if Aldrick Robinson's going to be their number 3 receiver. Stacy Coley didn't necessarily help himself. He had a pass go through his hands when he was trying to replace Treadwell, and they put Treadwell back in. Just the whole receiver situation is a really interesting state right now, and it'll be curious to see when they get their replacement kicker. Who's the guy that's gone? Is it one of the receivers? Does Brandon Zylstra or Stacy Coley pay the price for what Treadwell did, or is it one of their 2 running backs that have been inactive each of these 2 weeks? I tend to think it's going to be one of the 2 running backs because of the potential that they see in Stacy Coley and Brandon Zylstra. But Treadwell's got to own this a little bit more, and he's got to start realizing how much these mistakes hurt the team.
He doesn't get it. And one of the things he doesn't get is it doesn't really matter how hard you work. It matters how you produce. If you could find a great receiver who didn't do any work in the offseason and produce 1,500 yards a season, that would be much better. Treadwell thinks because he puts in the work that he deserves the benefit of the doubt. It's a production league. He's not producing. He's hurting his team, and he doesn't get it. It is interesting around the league, Tim. The Patriots have such a terrible receiving situation that they continue to bring in, like Philip Dorsett failed in Indy, and now they bring him in. They're bringing in Josh Gordon, who might be a complete waste of time. The Washington now is looking for receiving help. There's some other team I was looking at today is looking for receiving help. There are a lot of great receivers in the NFL, but the next tier down is pretty mediocre, and everybody's looking for somebody who can at least fill out their lineup, at least be a 3rd or 4th receiver who can be productive.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if some of the issue has to do, we talk about offensive linemen and how hard it is to find those guys from the college game because of the way things have changed. I wonder if some of the receiving issues have reared their head because of the spread offenses in the NFL, the quick reads, where you get to the NFL and those offenses, most of them have a lot of different option routes that are involved with receivers where you got to make the right reads. And, we even saw a couple of miscommunications from the veteran receivers from the Vikings on Sunday where, it looked like Diggs and Cousins weren't on the same page, or, the throw that was intercepted when Cousins got hit by Clay Matthews, eventually overturned. I don't know if that was a miscommunication or if Cousins was inaccurate because of the hit that he took. But there are so many different things that go into the receiving position and so many different types of receivers that you can have that, it makes it, you almost have to have different types of receivers on your roster where, Adam Thielen's a little bit bigger body than Stephon Diggs, but both of them can get deep and both of them are terrific making contested passes. And then after that, what do you have? You have Treadwell, who can't get great separation, is now dropping passes. Coley, we really haven't seen enough to know exactly what he is, but I don't know that he's a terrific separation downfield guy. And Zylstra hasn't really gotten an opportunity yet. So I'm really curious to see with